Hello everyone, this is Nick Perry at Schaeffer's Investment Research with your chart slideshow for Thursday, May 31st. Today I am back with my weekly check of the broad market indices. In last week's chart slideshow we were talking about a bounce. Basically, the comp had bounced, the RUT had bounced, the SPX and the Dow were basically more or less continuing the uptrends. The day I posted the chart slideshow, we were seeing a bit of a Greenspan induced pullback, but basically the overall takeaway was the uptrends were still intact. I did say that if we saw a pullback, you'd want to see this level on the RUT hold as well as that hold on the comp. And when we turn to this week's charts, we do see the pullback on the indices, and we do see that those levels held. Basically, the comp pulled back to that support there, which is a support zone. It's also the 50-day moving average. Got near it, but didn't quite test it before it bounced. And pretty much the same thing on the RUT. We were talking about those lows, and we saw a dip, down towards that area, but we never quite got there. As far as the SPX and the Dow, basically, the SPX, very minor pullback. Didn't even test the bottom of that short-term consolidation there before it bounced. And on the Dow, pretty much the same thing. As far as overall thoughts on the week, I want to kind of touch on the FOMC and the Fed. A couple of weeks ago, we talked about Mr. Bernanke, and then we talked about Mr. Greenspan. And then this week we're back to talking about Bernanke again. A couple of weeks ago I looked at this view and said, is he a bear? And we said no. FOMC minutes came out yesterday. Market rallied. So now people are referring to him maybe with somewhat some bullish feelings. Or at the very least they're basically saying the Fed saw the diminishing concerns. So that was taken as a bullish sign. So as far as overall takeaways go, I am back to talking about the uptrends, which is pretty much the same thing we've been talking about forever now. But basically, let's look at the SPX. You had this minor dip of a pullback, and you get the bounce right back, which just continues this uptrend. The Dow, we get a little bit of a consolidation there, but the Dow's just been going straight up, so you would expect to see pullback, arrest something. The comp, we had the rally, the pullback. Now we got another little mini pullback, and now we got a push to new highs. This whole zone in here, that would be basically a congestion area. So you'd like to see a breakout hold above that, but if we drift back down into it, that's not a bearish sign. It's just a sign that we haven't broken out of congestion. And as far as the RUT goes, it's somewhat encouraging. We talked about this giant area here being one big consolidation zone, congestion zone. And now we're seeing the RUT. First we saw a push up into it and sort of hold there, and then we see the breakout. Now we're seeing some action above there. So let me clear off these charts. So basically that would be just this area here, this slight break above. That'd be a somewhat constructive sign. Again, if you see a breakdown into congestion, that's not a bearish sign, but you are looking for the breakout. We've been hanging around the top end of that range, so that's somewhat encouraging. So the bottom line is that the uptrends remain intact. As far as levels to watch, basically pretty much the same ones we were talking about last week. So that wraps up my thoughts for the week. As always, stay tuned to the blog for further updates.